首先，我们先敬传承祖师了明和尚、萨迦正空上师、16世大宝法王卡玛巴、图登达尔吉上师，敬礼坛城三宝，敬礼护摩祖尊、如意轮观世音菩萨。师母、各位上师、教授师、法师、讲师、助教、堂主，各位同门，还有网络上的同门。今天我们的贵宾呢，台湾雷藏寺公关主任王之祖，民进党立院党团书记长蔡其昌立委代表陈惠美女士，大高雄市生活中会计师特丽莎师姐 and husband。这个有2个英文的，我不会拼音啊。这个特别嘉宾 LARRYPIERSA。好，名摄影师 TONYCHAAU。台湾中央研究院院士朱时仪教授皮夫人陈文文女士，特别嘉宾庄俊耀医师，印尼西江知名企业家黄文业及夫人方世琼及孩子3位特别嘉宾孙大义医师、肖香金医师。生活中中委会法律顾问罗志良律师、黄叶琴律师。生活中中委会法律顾问周慧芳及女儿公子。中天电视台给你点上心灯节目制作人徐雅琪。
In Taiwan, the producer for the TV program is Rebecca Xu.
陈淑仪，大灯文化事业股份有限公司吴淑美、林开。
And from Titan Culture, Ms. Usu Mei and Mr. Lin Kai Fu.
嘉宾林淑华医师。
And Dr. Lin. And from the Lotus Light Charitable Society Secretary General Tian. And from the Lotus Light Charitable Society Deputy Secretary Tu. Mr. Lei. And the producer for the Platform Sutra and the exposition to the Tantrayana, Ms. Lin and Master Lian Yue. And the advisor to the Overseas Compatriot Affairs Commission, Ms. Winnie Xie. And many more attorneys, doctors, and special guests. If you did not fill in your names, we don't have it here on the list, but In 1982, when I came to Seattle, the Jones Fine Furniture, so the president to the secretary to this from Spokane, is he here? Oh, he's left. It's been a long time since we met. It's been about 30 years. So he was the secretary to the Jones Fine Furniture. So it's the secretary of Master Lien Ho and everyone, and she also taught us English, and I still couldn't pronounce, couldn't spell. My spelling is very bad because in college I did not like English. I thought, I'm not leaving Taiwan, so why should I learn English? And it turned out I was the one who came to America. That's fate. But now for conversation, I can still converse. Actually, I use Chinese phonetics, like sleeping in Chinese. Use some Chinese words to make up. Like for Philadelphia, but in Chinese the sleeping is like dead inside the bottle, and Philadelphia, it's like the flying goose is hitting the flying duck. So that's how I memorized the English. Now
can go anyway. Can go anywhere. I can ride a car, go anywhere. And I can buy the something. Go to the shopping store, buy the something. Buy the toys. Buy the food and Judy, 珠宝
jewelries.
珠宝都是人家送的
Actually, all my jewelries were offered by others.
golden 黄金。我的英文是菜市场的英文。
My English is pidgin English, but I can talk a while using English. So at that time, learning English, I didn't pay much attention in my English, and now I have to suffer here. So good afternoon, how do you do? Good afternoon in Malay and Indonesian. Selamat petang, selamat siang. And in Japanese, good afternoon, domo konnichiwa. I would like to tell you something. On October 13th, I will go to Toronto's Jin Yin Lechang Temple to perform consecration and to give a Dharma teaching. So Vajrakilaya or Vajrapurva, the three secrets or the three methods of Vajrakilaya or Purba. Actually, Purba, Vajrapurba has 13 altars. At the time of Guru Padmasambhava, Vajrapurba and Vajrakilaya is very closely related to Guru Padmasambhava. And he performed 13 Tantra practices, and they are different. So the 3 secret tantric practices of Vajrakilaya will be transmitted in Toronto's Jin Yin Temple, and the corresponding empowerment will also be conferred there. And then, as you know, my mother, when she was 71, she passed away, and then she was guided by Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and then later she became the Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas, one of the Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas of the Sizi Lin forest of the South Seas. So she is also an incarnation of the a diving bird, and she also attained the realm of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And my father, he was the reincarnation of the incense burner's guardian. So for the ceremonies yesterday and today, they are both here. And then I like to add that my father and my mother and all the relatives of the Lu family, big and small, including my youngest brother, all the related relatives of the Lu family, they all came to the ceremonies yesterday and today. So why did they wait until yesterday to come? Grandmaster has done Bardo deliverance for so long. Only until yesterday, it can be said that all the ancestors and relatives of the Lu clan, they had been guided out of the 6 rebirth realms. Only yesterday that they are out of the cycle. So this had taken lots of effort. Sometimes you have to do the Bardo deliverance for many times before they can rise above that. So everyone in the Lu's family, now they can leave behind all the 3 lower realms, and then they have reached starting the heavenly realms and above. So only until yesterday, that all the members of the Lu clan has been delivered. So now I have finished Bardo delivering all the members of the Lu clan. So some appeared for me to see, some I don't recognize, like the 6 wives of my granddad, because my granddad has 6 wives. I only know one, the 3rd one, which is my grandma, the one who gave birth to my dad, my father. I did not know the other wives. So many wives, how would I know? So they all appeared from the third levels of earth. The three lower realms. So there are many of them, young and old. So after 30 years of Bardo deliverance, finally they all came out from the three lower realms. So yesterday at the ceremony, perhaps 3,000 or 4,000 participants, or 3,000 or 4,000 people, but what Grandmaster saw is different. It's about 60,000 beings. 60,000, over 60,000. There are many from the spirit world. So the phenomena of life and the phenomena of sentient beings are quite incredible, beyond imagination. And today we had the wish fulfilling wheel Kuan Yin Bodhisattva Homa, and we also Bardo deliver many beings. So everyone that you registered, and that's a good thing. You registered every time. And we have many special guests. There was the Ob-Jin doctor from Chicago who owned many clinics, Dr. Wang. Outside? The doctor is outside. The whole family is here. I also saw the brother of Hong Dingguo. He's a dentist. Is he here? Also outside. I saw many. Oh, over there. Sorry, you're in the sun. So many people I haven't seen for a long time. I saw here. I felt very moved. My heart was beating hard. It's not that I see beautiful girls, but these old friends, old disciples that I haven't seen for a long time. I felt very touched. And many more. So at the ceremony that they only came this time, and there's another one from Houston, and a Caucasian, and he received empowerment in Houston, and he had prostate cancer, and after the empowerment, all he did was reciting the Root Guru mantra, Om Guru Lien Sang Siddhi Hom. And then he told me earlier that after the empowerment, I decided Om Guru Lien Sang Siddhi Hom. And then after a while, his cancer disappeared. So with one empowerment and reciting Om Guru Lien Sang Siddhi Hom, his prostate cancer disappeared. Where is he now? He shaved his head. Oh, he's over there. Sorry that you have to stand in the sun. Oh, inside the tent. That's better. So he's a good witness. So just by reciting the Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom and receiving an empowerment, he could be cured. So then think about the Dharma practice yesterday for Vishnu and Garuda. And that's incredible. They are even more incredible. So, what's your name?
Your name?
Can you? Scott.
Cancer is gone.
You okay?
Okay.
So he is a witness. By receiving one empowerment and reciting the Root Guru mantra, he was cured. Would you like to say a few words?
Just 3 minutes. Speak.
We can let you speak for about 3 minutes. Just share your experience.
About 1 month.
Put it closer, yeah.
Okay. In about 1 month, I lost about 40 pounds and lost the use of my right leg. And in Houston, they sent my information to the Grand Master and gave me a special blessing. I also got one from the Master in Houston, and was reciting the sutra and gained my weight back within about a month and a half, and still working on my leg. It's getting stronger, but it's still a little weak. But other than that, all my blood counts and numbers are good now. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You may return to your seat.
我不能讲国语啊喂。走你的路。
English. I can speak some English, but sometimes it's I don't know which words are polite or not. It's just all mixed together. So this was a good representative that just by receiving an empowerment and reciting a mantra, that a cancer can be cured. And today, for the wish-fulfilling will Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, she is considered as part of the womb mandala in the Kuan Yin section. And this deity is called the wish-fulfilling wheel. So whatever you wish for, as long as you join in this ceremony, that your wish would be fulfilled. And Kuan Yin is the most compassionate and also the most convenient. And for the Chinese and the Middle Kingdom, that in every family we worship Kuan Yin and Amitabha Buddha. So we have great and close affinity with Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, including Tibet. The whole Tibet, they worship Chenresik or the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, the four-armed Kuan Yin. So the whole Tibet is the spiritual center of Kuan Yin, and Dalai Lama is the emanation of Kuan Yin, and Karmapa is also an emanation of Kuan Yin or Avalokitesvara or Chenresik, and many more others. And in the Middle Kingdom, there are many more Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas, many more. and also many of his reincarnations too. And the wish fulfilling Kuan Yin is especially to fulfill our wishes. And she has a special form and a mudra. The mudra is like this. This is the wheel. And touch the middle fingers. And the last two fingers cross like this. So out like this, and the middle fingers upright, and form a 2 rounds with the index and thumb. And the mantra, it's difficult to remember. It's difficult to recite at first, but after a while it will be easy. So with the mantra, a mudra, and a look of form for visualization, this would comprise the practice procedure. So I wish that you can gain spiritual response soon with Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And Kuan Yin is in the Western paradise. Actually, she's also a Padma Kumara or lotus youth. So Kuan Yin is also Padma Kumara. As I said before, in the great Amitabha Sutra and the Kuan Yin Precept Sutra, and then the Heavenly Filial Sutra, they all mention about Padma Kumara or the lotus youth. One is the precious, supreme precious youth, and then the precious jade youth. They were both born out of a lotus, so they are all called the lotus youth. And at that time, the precious jade youth and supreme precious youth, they took refuge in the light, pure light Buddha, and taught the Veda king how to cultivate spiritually. And the king guided these 2 youths to receive blessings from the Buddha of pure light and to learn the Dharma transmission and then cultivate spiritually. So this was the previous incarnation of Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha. So the King Veda was the previous reincarnation of Sakyamuni Buddha. So prior to Buddha Sakyamuni attaining Buddhahood, Padma Kumaras already existed. So don't undermine Padma Kumara. So Padma Kumara guided Sakyamuni Buddha to attain Buddhahood. So the King Veda, when seeing the lotus blossoming, and 2 lotus youths appeared. One is Pao Yu youth and one is Pao Sang youth. And the King Veda said, if you want to attain Buddhahood, you have to hear the Buddha teaching of the pure light Buddha. So the youth brought the king to see the pure light Buddha. So we can say that the lotus youth had guided Sakyamuni Buddha to go to the pure light Buddha. And then in the future, Sakyamuni Buddha attained Buddhahood after that. So we are not so bad. So don't undermine Padma Kumara or the lotus youth. Don't think that there are many lotus youth in the Donghuang caves, in almost every caves. And then in one cave, number 383, I remember clearly, that's a beautiful cave. And that's the most beautiful Padma Kumara or lotus youth there. So if you have time, you can go check for yourself. Cave 383. So Sanpa, which means 3/8 in Taiwanese, it means kind of crazy, and they name one of the typhoon this Sanpa. It's sometimes useful to be crazy. So practice procedure comprises of the form. You can visualize the look of the deity and form the mudra and recite the mantra. And this represents the body, speech, and mind. And the mind is the form of the deity. And when you form the mudra, that represents body. And when you recite the mantra, that represents the speech. So when you have pure body, speech, and mind, then you would gain spiritual response with the deity. So each Dharma practice is authentic Dharma practice is about the same. And it includes the vows or the relatives of the deity. Say for Vishnu, we need to add Garuda, because Garuda is closely related to Vishnu. Garuda before was a prince, and because of his mother was caught by the dragon clan, and he wanted to save his mother. So he begged Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu went to the dragon clan to save his mother. And then Garuda made a vow, if you save my mother, like what we often say, then I'm willing to become your slaves. So that's why he became the vehicle for Vishnu, and this prince became Garuda. So that's why Garuda hates dragons, because the dragons caught his mother. That's why he eats dragons, and then he transformed himself to become the bird Garuda. So the deity has his relatives. Like sometimes when we recite the mantras, other than his own main mantra, we also recite the mantras of his relatives. So, and the merit dedication, you need to recite his merits and the praises. So, this is the mantra chanting tantric practice. Sometimes include all this. But the key things are three: his mantra, his form, and his mudra. And this represents his body, speech, and mind. And if your body, speech, and mind are pure, then you would be getting closer and closer to the main deity. So when you enter into meditation and you merge with the deity, that's called spiritual response. So now you would understand that in tantric dharma practice, we have to practice the yoga or the spiritual response. You need to gain spiritual response or yogic response with our lineage. That's why you have to do the Padma Kumara practice. And you have to do the 4 preliminary practices. You need to gain the spiritual response or yogic response with Vajrasattva. And then you need to recite the mantras, prostrations or homage, offerings, fourfold refuge. And then once you gain yogic or spiritual response with Vajrasattva, then you would have response with all the other Dharma practices. So once you gain spiritual response with one Dharma practice, then you would gain responses with all other Dharma practices. If you have a heavy karma, then you don't gain any spiritual or yogic responses at all. Then you would probably abandon spiritual cultivation. So your commitment to spiritual cultivation is there. It's like the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is there forever. It's that it doesn't exist, but it's always there. But in your spiritual cultivation, when all of a sudden you discover your Buddha nature, then you would know. It's not that you're creating it or you're inventing it. It's not. But it's there all the time. Or spiritual commitment is always there. Sometimes you abandon spiritual cultivation because you don't feel anything, or you don't feel any yogic responses. Or when you have the deviant path, then they feel that no, now I want to walk my own ways and abandon the right path instead. Then you would be further away from the spiritual commitment. Or if you feel something, maybe it's not responses with the deities, but responses with the ghost. So you regard everyone as ghost, or the spirits, the evil spirits or demons. So those are all you see. So then later on you would be committed to the mental hospital, because a lot of the patients there would be able to see ghosts, and they refer themselves as Matsu or gods or the Pope or the President, or they say that they're the Jade Emperor, the Lord Indra, or sometimes they even say they're Sakyamuni Buddha. So they're just seeing ghosts. They cannot control themselves. So that's very severe. Or they see all kinds of spirits and ghosts. Those are all demonic spirits. So please be careful. In spiritual cultivation, it's not that you abandon your spiritual cultivation, but your commitment to spiritual cultivation is always there. If you walk away from it, then you're further away from it. So we just need to discover or to find our spiritual commitment, and then also the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature has always been there. It's not that you discover it. So should we talk about Hevajra? Sometimes my Dharma teaching is long and sometimes it's short. There's this joke. The son asked the dad to tell a story, and the dad said, "You want a long one or short one?" And the kid said, "Long one." And then the dad said, "There was a fly." A fly. Is it? That's very long. That's too long. Okay, then short story. And then the dad said, "There was a fly." And the fly was dead. So Grandmaster's Dharma teaching, if you want it long, fine, I can tell you, or short one too. So studying Buddha Dharma shouldn't be like travel. Like when you come to Seattle for 2 days, what have you learned? Nothing. Then you wasted your time. You should take notes, and if you learn something, and remember the key points, ponder on it, and then practice, put it into practice, and train, continue to train, and then you would succeed. There was a tour group from overseas, and they say, we get on the bus and we sleep, and that's a play of words. And get off the bus and go to the toilet. And then whatever you see, you take pictures, and then you don't remember anything. This play of words of Chinese. But don't do that in your Dharma practice. You need to be conscientious and meticulous about it. So when Grandmaster travels, I would take notes. Then I would write articles about travel. Someone asked, how come Grandmaster doesn't write their travel books anymore, or books about travel? Because the Tibetan culture would know, because they don't sell. Actually, there are a lot of philosophy in it too. But most people because Grandmasters writes about Buddhist topics, so most people don't buy, because Tibetan culture told me that they don't sell, so I don't write anymore about that. My grandfather had 6 wives. That's amazing. So from Monday till Saturday, and only Sunday is a rest. So there was this joke, a husband that got drunk, and then his wife asked him, if you earn lots of money, what would you do? And the husband said, I will get 5 wives. And the wife was very angry. Why didn't you get 7 wives? Then just for 1 week. And because the husband was drunk, he said, oh, it's too tiresome. Because now we have weekends. The weekends now, Saturday and Sunday. In the past, Taiwanese are very diligent, and they work all week long, Saturdays and Sundays. Now they follow America, because Americans have 2-day weekends. Now we also have 2-day weekends in Taiwan. Now they become lazier. So Americans are more leisurely. They have 2-day weekends. And now in Taiwan, they also have 2-day weekends. Even the clinics are closed. So if you have some problems, you have to go to the emergency room. But in the past, even for New Year's Day, they still open. For the Chinese New Year even, they still open a small door. They have a small opening. And then if someone asks, are you open today? Of course, they said. They wouldn't lose any business. So they still work even on New Year's Day, which is the biggest holiday for the Chinese. So, not to mention Saturdays and Sundays. But these days, the East learn from the West. And they don't learn the good part, but they learn the bad part. So now they become lazier. They just want to be leisurely. So that could be problematic. But for Buddhist training, there is no weekends, there's no holidays. Every single day you have to practice, especially for the monks and nuns. And you have to practice 6 times in a day, because there are 6 periods in a day that are auspicious. So what are the 6 times? In the morning when you wake up, bedtime. In the afternoon, at noon when you have lunch, and then in between, and then supper time. So that's 6 times. So you have to do 6 times of practices. That's the best. 6 times a day. And then the newer rule for tantric practice is 4 times a day. Zi, it's at midnight, at noon, and then when you wake up, and then at dawn and dusk. So midnight, noon, at dawn and dusk. So for noon and midnight, you need to practice the mantra chanting. And at dawn and dusk, you need to do the bathing practice, which means you do meditation and you are invoking the deity to enter into you, and you enter into the deity. So 4 practices a day. And Grandmaster's rule is even simpler. As long as you do a practice a day, that's good enough. Some people say, what? Every day? Oh, I am too busy to do that. If you cannot even do 1 practice a day, then you would go further and further away from the path. You need to maintain the right distance. There was this statement, if you're too close to your guru, it's not a good thing. Then you would be burned, because your guru is like fire. So if you're too close to the guru, it's easy for you to get burned. If you're too far, you want to abandon the fire, then you will not receive the warmth or the light. Then you would get colder and colder, colder and colder, and you would fall into the ice hell. Say if you haven't seen your guru for 10 years or 20 years, or you don't practice the Dharma, if you still do the practice every day, then you still receive the bathing, the light shower. Is when the Dharma flow enter into your body and you enter into the Dharma flow, or the deity enter into you and you enter into the deity, then this you're not far from the guru, because you still do the practice. But if you're far from your Dharma practice, if you're lazy and you get further and further away, and then you don't receive any of the lights and there's no warmth. So too close nor too far are not good. If you're too close, then you would lose respect. In front of the guru, you would smoke. So smoking before and after meal, they would definitely need that, and lift up their leg. I don't even know how to do that. So sometimes you forget and you start to lose respect. You have to at least join your palms and have respect in your heart. So these are all true words. This is not a joke. But now I'm telling a joke. A kid went home and told his dad in a rush. The teacher said that there was a kid that drank the milk of a buffalo, of a rhino, and then the kid gained 20 pounds in a month. So which kid is that? Well, it's the rhino's kid, of course. Grandmaster's body is very strong and very healthy. Recently, I had a medical checkup. Everything is okay. You know, when you live in the States, you can have medical checkup every 6 months. And we have a family doctor, and you cannot miss it. They would remind you. My family doctor is Dr. Kao from the Overlake Hospital, and before it was Dr. Morton. And he did not like to live in the States anymore. Now he moved to Africa. So now my family doctor is Dr. Kao, and every 6 months I had to have a complete checkup with him. So he checked me from head to toe: cholesterol, blood pressures, blood sugar, liver, kidney, pancreas, all the organs, stomach, everything is being checked, including the nervous systems and diseases. And then this time, my blood sugars check number is 6.5. That's good. And my blood pressure, my blood pressure is 130/70. Right. I even check all my blood, and if I have any sexual problem, I don't. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. And Dr. Kao said, you know, the report from your medical checkup can be framed and hang it in your living room, and then show that you're in great health. So I check every 6 months, and that's typical in the States. And also my teeth, I have it checked every 4 months. I have it cleaned. My ears, my eyes, I check it once a year. So that's how we do in America. You can ask the Americans. And everything's okay, no problem. You don't need to worry about me. So I get healthier after I came back here. And Dr. Kao told me, your body, you should maintain about 135 pounds. Then I wouldn't be a living Buddha. Then I would become a Taoist priest. To become skinny, and I cannot be too skinny. well, maybe 145 pounds then. And now I'm 150 pounds, 52 pounds. If I cut another 5 pounds, then I would meet the recommendation. That's what my doctor told me, and that's truth. So everyone should have their medical checkup, especially if you have any problems. It's better to find out earlier than sooner. Then you can prevent them, because a lot of illnesses come from what you eat, and you have to change your eating habit. Like if you have high cholesterol or high blood sugar, then if you change your eating habit, it would become normal. If you have high blood pressure, also you need to change your eating habit. The Chinese often say, they have a saying, that all the diseases come from your mouth. And Master Lianzi said, there was a saying in a hospital that you would become what you eat. So Master Lianzi said, you're not an eating machine. There are a lot of vegetarians. Huh? Oh, fast food restaurants like Burger Kings or McDonald's, and the hamburger is so big. If you eat like that, and fries, a Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you eat too much, then you would have arteriosclerosis. So be careful. Fried chicken and any fried and greasy food's not good. Then don't eat too much salt, not less sugar, less oil, fat, less carb, less salt, less sugar, no MSG. Just eat lightly. That's a good eating habit. So I also care for your health. So it's as if I'm giving a health seminar. Everyone should be healthy. Health is very important, because if you're in good health, only when you're in good health you can do your practice. You know, if you have lots of pains, how could you practice? You would not sit at ease and at peace if you're in great health. Very fast, you would forget everything. You would forget about yourself. Like the philosopher Zhuangzi also talk about sitting and forgetting. As soon as you sit, you forget about everything. And at this moment, the energy and the channels, the heartbeats and the breathing all slow down, and it would get close to the stage where it is very close to sleeping. That's called meditation. It's not falling asleep. You cannot say that every night I sleep and that's about forgetting. No. You have a little bit of consciousness, and you don't think. You don't have too much thoughts, and that kind of state is called meditation. We should train in meditation, because you are forgetting about all your troubles and problems. In each of your Dharma practice, you need to meditate. There are three kinds of attainments. Attainments by chanting mantras, on chanting sutras, and you continually chanting. And you rely on the power of mantra and sutra, you're guided to the Pure Land. The other attainment is through samadhi, as spoken by Guru Tsongkhapa. So that's the attainment through meditation. So you purify the seeds of your karma of all past lives. You enter into meditation is the same as purifying the seed of your karma. And when you purify all of your seeds, you would attain the attainment of meditation or through meditation. And whoever your main deity is, you would become that main deity. And the third is attainment through fire offering or homa. By making offering and performing fire offering at any time, by making offering, the deity would come easily and receive your offering. And in the future, when you die, the deity that you offered would come and guide you. So that's the attainment through homa. And then next is the attainment directly. So when in meditation, the main deity enter into you and you enter into the main deity, you become the main deity and then you attain Buddhahood. So in Zen Buddhism and in Tantric Buddhism, we have the attaining Buddhahood directly in this lifetime. And that's considered the attainment through samadhi or meditation. These are key points, very important. You cannot say that you have no attainment, so where would you go? Then you would cycle in the 6 rebirth realms based on your karma, depending on your karma. So little John got home and told his parents, today the teacher asked a question in class and only I could answer. Wow! The parents were very pleased. So John was so great. So what was the question? And the teacher asked, who didn't submit the homework? So only he answered. So in the future, you should do your homework. It's not to submit to Grandmaster, to show to Grandmaster or to all the masters, but you do your homework for yourself. So you need to know for yourself whether you do your homework or not. Do you cultivate today? It's for yourself. It's not to show for anyone. It's not to show to anyone. So whatever attainment you will have, it depends on the homework that you have done. You need to. This is called the attainments in the spiritual cultivation. You cannot cheat. You don't practice and you say that you practice. You cannot say that. If you don't practice, then you would say you don't practice. And you have to do the homework, not to show to Grandmaster, but it's for yourself. Because the attainment is something that you attain yourself. So you make yourself attain. It's not others. So you need to do your homework every day. Every day you have to finish your homework. And it's for yourself, not for others. This is not a joke. It's not funny. There are 2 close girls. And one said, I'm very proud because I saved the country lots of cloth materials. And then someone said that, you know, because she wears very little, whether you're big-chested or flat-chested, you still have to do homework. You still have to do your homework. Doesn't matter with, and you still use the same cloth material. So whether you have big breasts or flat-chested, you still need the same cloth to make it. So this is a joke now. What kind of tigers only have 2 legs? A female tiger, which refer to the fierce woman. So what kind of horse has 2 legs? The answer is Obama, because Ma means horse in Chinese. What kind of mouse have 2 legs? Mickey Mouse. What kind of cows that doesn't have legs? That's snail. This is play of words in Chinese. In spiritual cultivation, we have to be diligent, otherwise it will be like this. John told his mom, "I'm so pleased that I can write really fast now." And the mom said, "How could you improve so fast?" And then John said, "Before, my teacher always wrote 2 words. Dog's fart. Now the teacher wrote let the dogs fart." This is also Chinese words. So we should be earnest and honest in our spiritual cultivation. It's not just to do it for show, that anything just to pass. This is about the joke earlier. And the most important thing is to have pure body, speech, and mind. And having pure body, speech, and mind, that's spiritual cultivation. And keeping the precepts, abiding by the precepts, also spiritual cultivation. Doing goods and performing charity and the 6 perfections, they are all spiritual cultivation. And each of the 6 paramitas or 6 perfections would include diligence, and you need to do it every day. Like giving, you have to do it every day. So you need to be diligent in your giving. Precepts, keeping precepts, also has to be done every day. Patience or endurance, that's the most difficult. This is most difficult. If you know how to endure and be patient, then you would have attainment. And then the wisdom, that's also important. You need to learn the wisdom of the Buddhas and read the sutras every day, or Grandmaster's Dharma teachings, or books. You need to study them, the wisdom of the Buddha, of the Tathagata, meditation, every day you should do. When you do a tantric Dharma practice, it includes that. And then diligence, and all of them would require diligence. And this is called spiritual cultivation. And giving, it's not just taking money out, then that's it. That's called charitable giving. No. Before doing it, you need to use your heart and give the money for specific purpose. That's important. Like the Seng Yen Lu Foundation or the Lotus Light Charitable Society, they are doing charitable work. And you give for no reasons, and you don't ask for any rewards. So some people thought that because Fo Ching and Fo Chi are part of the board members of Seng Yen Lu Foundation, that they earn money from it. No, that's wrong. That none of the board members earn any salaries from the foundation. They don't earn any. So the two of them just got the daily necessities from Grandmaster personally. That in the past, Fo Ching earned $20,000 a month. But after she worked for Seng Yen Lu Foundation, she only got $2,000 from Grandmaster and Simu personally, not from the foundation. They have never taken even a cent from the foundation, both for Fo Ching and Fo Chi. So only $2,000 for a family a month. And yesterday, Fo Ching spoke for the Seng Yen Lu Foundation, and her both Chinese and English are very good. And she's a PhD in law, and she's an attorney for intellectual property. And she learned Chinese from us, and her Chinese is very good, but I learned English from her, and my English is poor, so this is unfair. So she's very conscientious in her work, and she donated, or she grants a lot of awards every year. So Seng Yen Lu Foundation has made about $1 million of grants and awards. So that's good. So all the offerings that's made to Grandmaster, Grandmaster donated to the Seng Yen Lu Foundation. So that's charitable work. So together we perform this charitable work. So we start from this small area and then later to reach all corners of the world. So the Qigong, living Buddha, Qigong means charitable, charity. The one who is especially charitable. Otherwise, his name Qigong may be named different. Jesus, living Buddha, that would be falling to hell. So we should be like Qigong, which is like a philanthropist who always help and provide service to sentient beings.
今天本来要讲第28章这个四喜清净的细说四喜清净的细说。
We could have talked about chapter 28,
讲多久了？
about the four pure bliss.
1个多小时了。
But
那今天
how long have you
讲
talked?
洗金刚了。
So we will not cover Hevajra today.
如果
It's over an hour already, the
有
talk.
兴趣的话，那
So if you're interested in the Hevajra Dharma teaching, you can stay.
这个上市也可以
The Seattle Lichang Temple
包吃包喝没有问题的，因为
provide the room and board.
是德惠上师讲的，他说西雅图没问题的。
And Master Dehui said
你们愿意
that
留下来就留下来不愿意留下来就回去
it's
看网络了。
okay, you can stay if you like. If not, you can go home and watch on the
好，今天就
webcast.
讲到这里了，我们再见。
Thank you very much.
非常感
Provide
谢
food
恩
and
德传
drink.
承上师宝贵的法语开示。
We are very grateful to His Holiness for this precious Dharma teaching.